Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, today's video is one of my favourite ones to film, and that is TBR Jar chooses what books I read for the month. This month of course is for April. The lighting is very questionable because it's the classic spring weather of like bright blue skies and sunshine 1 second and then torrential rain the next. You'll very much see the change in real time. I live in England and this is just typical weather for us, so don't mind that. But without further ado, let's just get on to the video. In terms of how many books I'm going to be picking, last month I chose 6, but one of the books that I chose was Anna Karenina. I'm still in the middle of that book obviously because it was not a book I was kind of prioritising. I'm just reading it alongside my other reads, so I still have that one to read. I definitely want to be like allowing myself time to be making significant progress with that one, which means I'm only going to be choosing 5 books to read in the month of April. I try to stick to these as much as possible. Pretty much every single month we either get to everything or like 90% of the books I set for myself, and I like this being kind of like a realistic goal. In terms of books that I'm hoping to get to this month, ones that I kind of want to be picking for the prompts if possible, I'm going to be keeping in mind both my spring TBR and also my TBR for 2024 when I'm picking these books. But one of these books that's on my 2024 TBR, I don't know if that's on my spring one, I think it is, and that is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I recently finished the Caraval trilogy, and this is the first book in the series that kind of follows on from that one, so I'd absolutely love if I could manage to fit this one into the prompt somehow. I'm very much in the mood to start the series. I've heard nothing but great things. I'm also keen to continue with the Chestnut Spring series by reading the book Heartless. This is book 2. I read book 1 Flawless in November of 2023, so it's been quite a bit of time, and I don't want to be leaving any more time between the first 2 books because I want to be able to rate this one fairly based on how I felt about that one, if that makes any sense. I also am very much in the mood for this book. I just have been itching to pick it up, and this is also on my spring TBR. And then lastly, the final book that I would love to fit into this TBR somehow. This is not going to be like #1 priority. I will prioritise the other books over this, but if it's possible I would love to also fit Kind of Midnight on my TBR for April, because I'm in the middle of rereading the first book, Throne of Glass, and I was rereading that so that I could read this one for the first time. I'm very near the end of Throne of Glass. I only have like 150 pages left, something like that, so I definitely think I could finish that one in time for the end of March, which means that it'd be lovely to get on into the rest of the series starting in April. So yeah, that's another book that I'm going to be considering when I'm picking up these prompts. But we've got the TBR jar here full of prompts. I'm going to try and not pick ones that I've picked before, but if we come across them and they work for this month too, then I'm not going to complain, and let's just get going. Okay, prompt number 1. A popular book talk or booktube book. Okay, we can do this one. Oh my gosh, you know what? Immediately, Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. There's a couple of ones I could have chosen, but seeing as I want to read this, I feel like it just makes sense to put it on the TBR as soon as possible. Like I said, I think at the beginning of this video, I've had nothing but incredible things about this book. We're following Jax and Evangeline. The love of Evangeline's life is about to marry someone else, and so she asks for the help from Jax, who's the Prince of Hearts. He says that he will help her out if she grants him 3 kisses at the time and place of his choosing, and actually I think it ends up being a love story between the 2 of them. But yeah, I'm so excited to begin this book. I'm so happy we've managed to fit this on the TBR already. This is going to be book number 1, Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Okay, next prompt. A dystopian book. I don't actually think I've got many of these. We've got the Scythe series. I'm up to The Toll, which is book 3, but I have a feeling I need a reread of the first 2 books in that series if I want to keep going with it, which I definitely do want to do, but I don't feel like we're doing a reread this month. I'm pretty sure that Station 11 is a dystopian. One snowy night in Toronto, famous actor Arthur Leander dies on stage while performing the role of a lifetime. That same evening, a deadly virus touches down in North America. The world will never be the same again. I think this fits dystopian. I'm pretty sure it does. Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I've had really good things about this, and my friend Anna actually gifted it to me a very long time ago, so it'd be great if I could fit this on the TBR. I don't think I have any other dystopian books. Pretty sure this is the only one, so let's go with that. Okay, prompt number 3. We're getting through this quite quickly actually so far. A book with a romance subplot. So this can't be a romance book. Unfortunately, we can't do Heartless. What's got a romance subplot? I feel like everything does. Once Upon a Broken Heart would have. There's a bunch of fantasy that does. Let me consult my TBR for the year and for the season. Okay, seeing as it's on my spring TBR, I feel like we might go with Belladonna by Adelyn Grace. Although I think it kind of counts as a romantasy, since it's a gothic romance. So is this a romance subplot? I don't know if this counts. Orphaned as a child, Signa has been raised by a string of guardians, each more interested in her wealth and her well-being. Each has met an untimely end. Her only remaining relatives are the elusive Hawthorns. When a restless spirit appears claiming she was poisoned, Signa realises the Hawthorns could be in grave danger. She enlists the help of a surly stable boy to hunt down the killer. But her best chance of uncovering the murderer is an alliance with death. I think this counts as a romance subplot because it's actually like a gothic mystery book, but it does have that romance that like goes alongside. I feel like this works. I'm gonna say this works. As everybody says in these videos, it's my game, my rules. Yeah, those are the 3 books so far. Belladonna adding to the stack. Book number 4. I'm really excited to get to Belladonna, and it'd be great to take it off my TBR for spring. Okay, prompt number 4. A cover by or a book with a beautiful cover. What books was I drawn to initially because of the cover? I've got a couple of options again for this one, but I think I'm probably going to choose this, which is Near to the Wild Heart by Clarice Lispector. Clarice Lispector is a really famous, well-loved author, speculative writing style that's like a little bit magical realism-y. I've basically heard nothing but good things from her from people I follow, mutuals on Instagram and things like that. And the reason why I was first drawn to her books initially is because of these beautiful editions from New Directions, which actually make up her face, if you can kind of see there. I'm missing the 4th one, but the first one I've been told to start with is Near to the Wild Heart, and this is also on my TBR for the year. And it's a different vibe from what we've got so far, so I feel like that could be a good one. This is kind of like a lit fic, a little bit magical realism as well. I've been meaning to get to her books for the longest time, so I'm very excited to finally be able to dive into them. Okay, final prompt number 5. A book written by multiple authors. Okay, I don't think I have too many options for this. I have Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, because Christina and Lauren are 2 different authors. They just write under their names combined, so it looks like one author. This is the first option. We also have Addicted for Now, which is by Kristen Becker-Ritchie. This is a book that I actually put on my TBR last month and I didn't get around to it in the end. But I'm still desperate to pick it up because I'm filming one book focused reading vlog on all the books in the Addicted series. I don't know whether we actually have any other options. Maybe that's it. Okay, which one should I go for? I'm not sure whether it's cheating to go for a book that I put on last month's TBR, but I do still need to get to it, but like I feel like that's a bit of a cop-out. So maybe we'll go with Love and Other Words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Love and Other Words on the TBR, and then if I can possibly fit in Addicted for Now, I will definitely like try and make that a thing. We've got such a good range of genres. I'm really happy with my picks. So before we finish up the video, I'm going to run through what books I've chosen for April. So the first book we picked was for a popular book talk or booktube book, and I chose Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I'll start a little stack here. For a dystopian book, I chose Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I'm really happy to finally be able to hopefully take this one off my TBR. I've owned this for a couple of years now, and it's definitely time that I got around to it. Tea break. For a book with a romance subplot, I chose Belladonna by Adelyn Grace, a book which is on my spring TBR. Very happy to be getting to this. I think it could be really fun. The whole idea of a relationship with death is like crazy. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but I've heard so many good things about this, particularly recently. Actually, I think it was Alexa Ray recently read this and absolutely loved it. She gave it like 4.5 or 4.75, something like that. So I'm hoping I'll feel similarly. For a book that was a cover by, I chose Near to the Wild Heart by Clarice Lispector. I haven't actually told you what this book is about because I don't really know anything about it at all. I've been told by a viewer of the channel actually that this is where I should start in terms of reading Lispector's work. And then finally, for a book written by multiple different authors, we have Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, which was written by Christina and Lauren. This is really fun. This is a kind of like childhood friends to lovers. Something goes wrong in the past and then things come together again. I'm really excited for this because I read Every Summer After by Carly Fortune last summer, and I really enjoyed that book, and that is meant to take heavier inspiration from this book. So I'm hoping that the book that kind of originated that trope or that kind of like vibe, the very similar storyline, will be even better than that book, which I really loved. So there we have it. Those are the 5 books I'm hoping to get to throughout the month of April, as well as Anna Karenina, of course. I really like this kind of colour palette we have going on here. I think this could be a really fun month. If I kind of did some predicted star ratings, I'm hoping for like a 4 or 4.5 for this one and this one. Maybe like a 3.5 towards a 4 for this. No idea with Station 11. Could be like a 3, or it could really blow me away. And then Near to the Wild Heart. I'm so excited to see how I find my first Lispector book. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, let me know that you did. Stick around if you'd like to see me read these books over the month, and stay until my April wrap up where I'll talk through my thoughts on everything and show you whether I've actually managed to get to everything that I've said I want to. You can do that by subscribing, of course. Thank you for being here, sending my love to you from here to wherever you may be in the world, and I'll see you very, very soon in a couple of days for another video. Bye bye.